Good morning. How are we doing today? My name is James Sweeney, aka SplitSuit. Welcome back to another video. And today I just wanted to quickly run you through Core and show you a little bit about the Core 2.0 update. And if you've never checked out Core before, kind of show you what you're getting when you log in, what you can be doing within Core, how you should best study Core, and go forward from there. So if you've never checked out Core before, it is by Red Chip Poker, and it's essentially the A to Z poker course. The whole concept is to give you a complete syllabus when it comes to making your poker strategy more coherent, making sure that you have a strong foundation in this game, so that way when you decide to do anything, be it add extra plays or try to find extra edge or patch your own leaks, you have a great starting point for doing so. So it's not just the syllabus, but it's also filling in all of those lessons along the way, so that way when you are studying between sessions, you're doing so more effectively and also more efficiently. Plus, Core is only $5 a week, so that way any single bankroll can train and make significant improvement and obviously hopefully make a great ROI along the way. So I wanted to show it to you today, and without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright, so once you actually get into Core, this is what the Core dashboard looks like. And essentially the way it works is there are 4 levels currently within Core. There's level 1, and these are kind of your basic foundational elements, things you 100% have to know and you have to be strong with in the foundation of your overall poker strategy. Level 2 is where we're really going to get into more of the playbook. So taking the foundational elements and then actually building plays and understanding the various things we can do pre-flop, post-flop, and everywhere in between, making sure that we tie all of that stuff together so you have a coherent playbook. We don't want your poker strategy to be based on duct tape and water. We want to make sure that you fully understand what's going where, why it's going there, and how you can actually make better decisions. And just for the record, the way that I would normally suggest doing Core is level 1 totally in order straight through, and level 2 totally straight through as well after you've completed level 1. Again, to make sure that everything is coherent and built as strongly and fused as strongly together as possible. Now, there are also a couple more levels. There's level 3, which is going to be your hand history level, and it's organized by tournament hands, online cash game hands, and live cash game hands. And this you can study at any time, and I'll kind of show you how that works in a moment. And when you're done with those, you also have level 4. And again, you can study level 3 whenever, however. And then level 4, you have 2 standalone courses, and these are very brand new to Core. This is part of the Core 2.0 update. So we have one that's live cash game focused. This is taught by Ed Miller. And then we also have a tournaments one taught by WSOP bracelet winner Chris Wallace. So this one will run you all the way through tournaments, making sure you're prepared for the early stages, chip accumulation, mid stages, bubble, final table, and more. So this is kind of what Core looks like when you first walk into it. And by the way, this button right here is my absolute favorite thing in the entire world. Essentially, it knows when or which lesson you were last studying, and when you come back, say a day or 3 days or next week to start a new study session, just click that button. It remembers exactly where you left off, takes you right where you need to be. I absolutely love that feature. It saved me a tremendous amount of time because I absolutely hate when courses don't have something at least similar to that. So let's go through and show you a little bit of what these lessons actually look and feel like. So starting with level 1, again, these are kind of your foundational elements. Let's just poke around and show you what post-flop looks like. So if you click there, head on over, here we are, and essentially the level 1 stuff is going to be much quicker. The overall lessons themselves don't take too long, and you will typically be done in like 10 to 20 minutes per lesson. Yes, this one has one single lesson that's a little bit longer, but more often than not, these are going to be a little bit more bite-sized. And again, these are your foundational elements to make sure that you have the strong, cohesive foundation stuff before you start adding to your playbook. So this is just general stuff like flop dynamics and types of flops and streets of value. And this is again for post-flop in level 1. And then there's also a quiz. And there are quizzes all over Core. And we also have done some really cool stuff with quizzes in terms of making sure the answer key is a little bit more functional, making sure things are easier to use, making sure you fully understand which questions you got incorrect. And most quizzes, by the way, are about 10 questions. We didn't want to keep you here for 100 questions per section, but by the same token, didn't want to only give you, say, 3 questions and have you feel like, did I really get tested enough and really prove that I learned these concepts well enough? So about 10, and all of them are very easy to figure out which ones you got right or wrong, and there's also some extra information for the ones you got wrong, so that way you can say, okay, well, here's where I went awry, and here's how I can make that change, and then boom, you're on studying the next thing. So again, this is level 1. Again, things are a little bit shorter, quicker, more succinct. Now, as you get into level 2, I'll just quickly show you what prefop in level 2 looks like. You notice that things start to get much, much longer. And you notice that there's a bunch of different ways that you can look and find where you need to be going. There's the sidebar, so you kind of see all of the various subcourses within prefop level 2, and then you can also scroll down on the main one and look at all the individual lessons. So you notice that this is going to be heavily based upon your playbook, various plays you can run in this game, prefop, postfop, and so on, and from there you can go right in, study what you need to be studying, and go forward. So you notice these are a lot longer. The average lessons tend to be a little bit longer as well, and obviously the entire course and subcourse list is longer as well. These are going to be much more cohesive, and it will take you some time to get through level 2, but when you truly do it, it's going to be extremely helpful. So again, when you're looking at core overall, do level 1 all the way in order. Once you complete that, do level 2 all the way in order. But when it comes to level 3 and level 4, you can kind of do things as you want. So let's just say you sit down for a study session, you're like, okay, well, I just want to study a hand history or two and see what I can do. So let's say we're going to go into the live cash game hands, click over there. Again, things are nice and organized by stake, so 1, 3, and under, so 1, 3, and 1, 2, 2, 5, and then also 5, 10 hands. And then let's just say we're going to check out the 2, 5. Rock and roll, and again, you have all these different hands that you can study and information about kind of what they are, how long it's going to take, and so on. So let's say we wanted to study this ace, king, squeeze, and a miss. And by the way, when it comes to level 3, study what you want, when you want, how you want to, right? Because you'll see in a moment, these lessons are organized in a way that you can not only learn about that hand and that topic, so in this case, obviously, we squeeze with ace, king, and we end up missing the flop, but there's also these very helpful sections over here where you can see exactly what went into this specific hand. So obviously, just based on the title, you see that we're squeezing, so one of the preflop elements is squeezing, and then we also have some postflop stuff on barreling and when not to c-bet, some math elements, so pot odds and SPR. That way, you can say, okay, well, I understand what the coach is talking about in this video, right? Hit play, rock and roll. I understand a little bit about what squeezing is, but I'm not 100% confident on it. Okay, no problem. Hit squeezing, takes you right over to the lesson, study this out, make sure that you fully understand it, and rock and roll. So this is a great way of making sure you understand all of the little elements and pieces that go into understanding the complete hand history that we're exploring. Because that's what you need at the end of the day. You need a cohesive understanding of how everything fits and pieces together, not these little individual kind of bite-sized things that you're trying to staple stitch together and it's really not making any sense. This is how you do it in a way that makes a tremendous amount of sense. Alright, so that gives you a decent feel of level 1, level 2, and level 3. And by the way, this is a level 2 lesson right here, this one on squeezing. But if we go back to the main dashboard, and by the way, you can check all this stuff up top in the main navigation. So once you're in and have an active core subscription, you can check out the hand reviews, go right where you want to go, check out the new core courses. Again, I'll walk you through one of those in a moment, and then also the leaderboard, or just go back to the dashboard overall. So real quick, I want to walk you through one of the level 4 courses because I think this is really where the Core 2.0 update really adds a tremendous amount of value. So again, we have the one on live cash, which is taught by Ed Miller based on his very popular book called The Course. Yes, it's a confusing title based upon the way that it's fitting in here, so we're just kind of calling it the live cash and going from there. But the tournament one is totally 100% brand new and really excellent. So if we click on that, open it up, you notice that there is a lot in here. So I already talked a little bit about what the overall strategy looks like. So we're talking about the starting stuff, early to mid stages, bubble, running deep, final table, all that fun stuff. And you notice that there is a lot in here to study and explore. And just like always, the lessons themselves are a mixture usually of text and video. Video is really the star of the show, but there are quite a few lessons that are a little bit more text heavy for people that enjoy reading, or things that just kind of needed to be expressed in a more visual way where a video didn't quite fit the bill, and it could just be here for you to quickly peruse, read, and get where you need to go. So again, the tournament course is going to look a lot like this, with video being definitely the star of the show, and there are also quizzes as well. So if you started this quiz, again, about 10 questions for most quizzes, rock and roll, have some fun. If you get any wrong, very, very easy to read the answer key, figure out which ones you got wrong, figure out what the correct answer was and why, and make any appropriate changes in your strategy or thought process accordingly. So that is core. And this is, again, a very, very big undertaking. But when you're looking to study effectively and efficiently between sessions, yes, there's a lot you need to know in this game, right? Anything you want to run or do in this game requires a lot of different knowledge, right? If you want to 3-bet in poker, you need to understand not just, reading a single article on 3-betting or watching a single video. There are a lot of little things you need to understand. You need to understand what your opponent raised with, what they would continue against your 3-bet with. So there's some hand reading in there. And by the way, there's ranges involved in level 1 and also level 2, so that we can start putting that stuff together. You need to understand sizing, you need to understand blockers, you need to understand flops play in 3-bet pots, you need to understand facing 4-bets, you need to understand a whole bunch of things, not just, hey, I 3-bet, that's it. There's a bunch that you need to understand to fully understand 3-betting, and that goes for everything, right? If you want to double barrel, there's a whole bunch of stuff you need to understand. Triple barreling, check raising, hero calling, you name it, there's a whole bunch of things that you need to understand to run any single play correctly in this game. And core, with the Core 2.0 update especially, with lots of extra lessons, but also extra updates. So anything that was a little bit outdated when we originally launched Core, that has kind of changed since the original launch, has been updated. We've gone through every single lesson and made sure that everything is still functioning properly and ready for you to use exactly in today's games. So this is Core. This is the Core 2.0 update. I hope that you massively, massively enjoy it. If you have any comments or questions on it, please don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, if you want to get started, you can do so today at redchippoker.com/core. Check it out. Again, it's only $5 a week. I think you're going to massively enjoy it. And if you're serious about studying a little bit more between sessions and doing so in a better way for you, Core is 100% what I would check out. So again, if you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, as always, good luck out there and happy grinding.